All right, let's do a little time travel. Picture this, it's 2026. How are people actually writing code? Well, today we're going to look at a blueprint for exactly that. We're talking about an AI-powered tool called Cursor and how it's pretty much set to completely change the game for developers. So yeah, let's jump right in.
So, you gotta ask, right? Why is everyone jumping on the AI train? What's the big deal? And look, it's not just hype. It's a real answer to a real problem. Think about it. Projects are getting ridiculously complex, and so many of us are working remotely now. We're all juggling these massive code bases, constantly switching gears, and a lot of the time we're doing it solo. That mental burnout, that's the real reason this shift is happening.
And you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at this chart. It lays it all out. What we're seeing is this projected explosion in developers searching for AI coding help, especially remote devs. And this isn't just a little bump. It's a tidal wave. The demand is just skyrocketing. Okay, so here's the game plan for today. First, we'll dig into the problem itself, what we're calling the remote dev dilemma. Then, we'll get into the good stuff, the solution. We'll walk through getting set up with Cursor, see how it acts as your AI copilot, and check out its crazy fast debugging. And to wrap it all up, we'll look at the big picture. What does it even mean to be a developer in 2026?
All right, first up, let's talk about the remote dev dilemma. You know, with everyone suddenly working from home, having a smarter workflow stopped being a nice-to-have. It became absolutely essential just to get the job done.
So here's the real challenge, right? The code we're working on is getting more and more complicated, but at the same time, we're often more isolated. You can't just swivel your chair around anymore and ask your coworker, hey, does this look right to you? That quick sanity check is gone. And that combination, more complexity, more isolation, that created this huge gap. A gap that, frankly, only something like a smart AI-powered tool could even hope to fill.
And that's where Cursor comes into the picture. So, how do you actually get up and running? Well, it's a super simple 3-step process that really feels like you're plugging into the future.
Honestly, the setup is so smooth, it's kind of amazing. You just install the IDE, link it up with your AI provider, like OpenAI or whatever you use, and then you just import your project. Boom. That's it. You're literally coding with an AI partner in minutes. We're not talking hours of configuration here.
Okay, so once you're in, you get to play with the first massive feature, your AI copilot. And let me be clear, this is so much more than that autocomplete you're used to. No, this is about generating whole chunks of code from scratch.
And this slide just spells it out perfectly. Look at the difference. The old way, manually typing out all that boilerplate code, Googling syntax for the 10th time, slowly piecing together a prototype. Now, look at the Cursor way. It instantly spits out functions, the syntax is always spot on, and you can iterate on ideas at lightning speed. It's not just an improvement, it's a total transformation of how you work.
But look, it's not all about speed. Writing code faster is great, but what about writing better code? That's where the next big thing comes in, debugging at light speed. And the whole idea here is to catch those pesky bugs before they even have a chance to mess things up.
So how does it do this? It's something called predictive error analysis. Basically, as you're typing, the AI is looking over your shoulder, constantly scanning for potential bugs or flaws in your logic. The amazing part is, it spots these problems before you even hit run. It's like having a bug-squashing partner that's always one step ahead, totally proactive. And this quote from a developer in our little 2026 scenario, it just says it all, doesn't it? It found the bug before I even knew it existed. That's the magic right there. It's like having this incredible safety net that catches you before you even realize you're falling. It's a total game changer.
So when you put all this together, what does it mean for us, the actual developers, the people typing away? Well, that brings us to our final and maybe most important section. What does it mean to be a developer in 2026? Because this is really changing the job itself.
Yeah, the takeaways here are massive. For starters, dev cycles get way faster when AI is handling a lot of the grunt work with generating and debugging. But here's the real kicker. All that automation frees up your brain power. Instead of getting stuck in the weeds with syntax and boilerplate, you get to focus on the fun stuff, the stuff we're actually good at. Creative problem solving, thinking about the big picture, designing the architecture.
And I really want to hammer this point home because it is the most important takeaway. Tools like Cursor are not here to replace developers. Full stop. They're here to augment us. They take all the boring, repetitive stuff off our plates so we can operate on a higher level. Think of it this way. They make good developers absolutely great.
So I'll leave you with this one last thing to chew on. As these AI copilots get more and more woven into everything we do, Is the keyboard really our main tool anymore? You know, the classic symbol of a coder. Or is our most powerful tool shifting to something else entirely, like our ability to just ask the right questions?